Welcome to your first game of Bots and Pieces. I'm going to quickly guide you through how to play in your first session. You've been given a pre-generated character, and once you've chosen, the rest will fall into place. We're going to dissect the first character sheet, followed by the Excel link sheet. At the top, we can see the bot's name. Underneath that, these symbols show three important stats: AI, Sensory, and Rover. You'll see that your bot has numbers in one of these stats. This indicates an extra use of one of the standard programs to the right. It's important to remember that a single digit in these stats only gives a second use to a single program related to that stat. It does not give a secondary use to all programs in that stat. Continuing down, we have two sections labelled battery capacity and load order. These are important when leveling up your bot, but for today's game, you won't need to worry about them. Moving to the top and to the right of your bot's name, we can see 6 different symbols and numbers associated with them. From the top, we have available battery capacity. As mentioned, this won't be important in this playthrough session. Underneath, we have max programs. All new characters start with 15 standard programs, 1 exclusive program, and a +1 in an additional standard program, added by the increase in the stat to the left. As you can see, the number of max programs is 17. It's important to remember this at the end of the game. Moving along, we have the most important stat in Bots and Pieces. This symbol denotes energy. In this box, we can see that you have 10. This means you have a maximum of 10 points of energy to spend until you need to recharge. Beneath that are boost points. These are used to either link with other players or can be converted to energy if your energy resource is depleted to 0. You have a maximum of 5 before needing to recharge. The last two symbols denote 2 pools of group resources: cool points and luck points. You share these resources with your team and have 3 to use between you. Once one has been spent, all players must mark off this expenditure. Cool points allow you to add 1d6 to an action pool, either before or after your total has been rolled. Each luck point allows you to re-roll a single dice that has a score of 1. Example, if you roll 1d8, 1d6 and 1d4 in an action pool and score 1, 4 and 3, you can spend 1 luck point to re-roll the d8 that scored 1. If you use a luck point, you must take the new score as rolled. This cannot be rolled again, even if it scores 1. To the right of these symbols on your sheet, you will see the resource management area for energy and boost. These are already tallied up for you. All you need to do when spending energy or boost points is to click on the amount of resource you're spending and the box will disappear. When regaining energy or boost, simply click the number of rectangles gained back up to your max, which is denoted in the previous symbol area. This is how you keep track of max values. Next is the second most important part of Bots and Pieces: programs. Programs are gathered into a pool and spent to create action totals. They come in 4 different types: exclusive, active, passive, and effective, which each represent different dice values. Standard programs in your active, passive, and effective categories are the same for all players. Each of you use the same standard programs, but in a different order. This is to show what your bot is good and not so good at. Exclusive programs are earned by leveling up your bot. Each of you will have a single exclusive program to use in this adventure, which is characteristic to you alone. New exclusive programs, when earned, can be called whatever you want. It's best to use general descriptors, as exclusive programs that are too specific may be less useful in all situations. An example, decoding languages is better than decoding an ancient Tellurian language, because it gives more range to be used in different situations. To regain energy, boost, or programs, you need to recharge. There are 3 types of recharging: a resting cycle, a solar cycle, and the use of a charging station. These allow you to regain some of your spent resources, but also give the GM hazard points to spend against you in later challenges. The more you charge, the more dangerous the game becomes. During an adventure in Bots and Pieces, you are given challenges by the GM. In order to defeat these challenges, you will need to create action pools and gain a number of successes equal to the total of these action pools. All challenges have a pressure, strain, and potentially a hazard. The pressure of a challenge is how many successes are needed to defeat it. The strain of a challenge is the energy cost per action. This decreases as the pressure is reduced. And finally, hazard points are used to create timed challenges. These require you to complete a challenge in a certain number of actions. If you fail to do so, you fail that challenge instantly. The narrative changes and you lose a number of cool and luck points equal to the remaining pressure of that failed challenge. I will now describe how a player creates an action pool. Sydney is controlling Spider, the reconnaissance quadruped AI sensory bot. Sydney's team are in the ruins of a Tellurian city, surrounded by strange terminals. The team have been presented with the challenge of gaining access to a secret area. Sydney is up first. The GM tells them that this requires 4 energy points to perform their action. Sydney then marks off the energy expenditure. Sydney looks through what programs they have remaining and chooses to use the following to create an action pool: Scan, Technology, Finesse, and Encode. Scan is used to determine which terminal would be the easiest to hack into. Technology is used because Spider is trying to interact with the technology of the city. Finesse is used because Spider will need to be very precise during this action. And finally, Encode is used because Spider is trying to hack into the terminal. The GM agrees and Sydney spends their resources on the sheet, then the action pool is rolled. Scan is 1d8, Technology is 1d8, Finesse is 1d4, and Encode is also 1d8. The action pool is rolled and the result in order is 4, 3, 4, and 8, which is a total of 19. This gives Sydney 2 successes. Successes are determined at the start of a game and vary depending on the amount of players in the adventure. This keeps the game fair and balanced. Once a program has been used, it cannot be used again until you recharge it. There are 2 types of linking in Bots and Pieces: Excel links and Exceed links. Both function similarly, but involve a different number of players. Excel links are 2 players only. Exceed links are all players together to a minimum of 3. When 2 players Excel link, they choose to add a number of boost points to add into their link energy, a form, a name, and their first link program. When in an Excel link, to form action pools, both players add into a single pool and roll at once. The energy cost per action is spent from the Excel link's energy pool, not from the energy resource on the individual players' character sheets. Once the link energy is reduced to 0, the players automatically de-link. As you spend link energy, it is converted into link fusion. This is the box to the right. This is a 1-to-1 ratio. For every link energy spent is 1 link fusion point added. Link fusion is used to acquire more powerful link programs, and the total is never reduced and will max out at 60 link fusion. Once you have gained 60 link fusion points, this link is now considered a master link. Players can also de-link when they want, but they lose any link energy not spent. If 2 players put 4 boost points into their Excel link, spend 6 but de-link with 2 remaining, those 2 points are lost. Exceed linking works in all the same ways to Excel linking, but all players are combined and create a single action pool by adding together programs from their respective character sheets. And that's a quick introduction in how to play Bots and Pieces. If there are any questions, you can ask the GM now.